Hello students, today in this video we'll understand one more topic from module 2 that is corrosion and metal finishing. In the previous video we have started corrosion where we have learnt some introduction regarding corrosion, why exactly corrosion takes place. Then also we have studied the electrochemical theory of corrosion, and in today's video we'll understand types of corrosion. Students, there are numerous types of corrosion based on different parameters, but whatever type they have chosen for your syllabus, I'll be explaining those in this video. Okay, so types of corrosion, which all type you have to study. First is differential metal corrosion. It is also called as galvanic corrosion. Second is differential aeration corrosion. Under once again differential aeration corrosion, you have to study waterline corrosion and pitting corrosion. Now waterline corrosion and pitting corrosion both are once again type of differential aeration corrosion. So students, one by one let us understand these. Differential metal corrosion or galvanic corrosion, as the name itself indicates, differential metal corrosion. Okay, now in the previous videos we have already understood that why corrosion does take place. Okay, mainly there are two reasons. One, if there is any difference in the electronegativity of two different metals, if two different metals are in contact with one another, and naturally because both are different metals, their electrode potential value will be different. So when there is difference in electrode potential value, there will be a setup of electrochemical cell. Students, if you remember the first module topic, there are mainly two types of electrochemical cells which we studied. One is electrochemical cell when there are two different metals are in contact with one another, two different electrodes are in contact with one another. That was one type of electrochemical cell. Then another type, both the electrodes are of same metal but concentration differs. So here also differential metal corrosion, name itself indicates, when two different metals are in contact with one another, there is chances of corrosion. We often observe this thing when there is contact of two different metals. Out of two, anyone gets corroded easily. So now what exactly it is, we'll understand. Okay, now when differential metal corrosion occurs, when two dissimilar metals are in contact with each other in corrosive environment. If two different metals are in contact with one another and it is kept in vacuum, there is no question of corrosion. But if there is air, moist air means if there is water, oxygen present along with two dissimilar metals, then there is chances of corrosion. Okay, now in the electrochemical theory of corrosion, we already understood there will be setup of anodic and cathodic area, and hence there will be setup of electrochemical cell. So here, out of two dissimilar metals, the metal with lower value of standard electrode potential acts as anode. Okay, now when we are comparing two metals, one will be having lower electrode potential value and one will be having higher electrode potential value. And the metal with higher value of standard electrode potential acts as cathode. And we previously understood anode. At anode, always anode is more active, so it undergoes corrosion, and cathode less active, it resist corrosion. So here if two metals are there, one acting as anode, one acting as cathode, anode is likely to undergo corrosion, cathode does not. Okay, now anode metal undergoes corrosion and the cathodic metal remains unaffected. Larger the potential difference between the two metals, higher is the rate of corrosion. For example, if two noble metals are in contact with one another, for example silver and gold, if those are in contact with one another, both are noble one, they resist corrosion, but still out of those two, gold is more nobler. Why? Because it acts as cathodic metal, its electrode potential value will be higher as compared to silver. So silver is likely to undergo corrosion, but their electrode potential negativity difference will be very, very small. So hence the chances of corrosion is very, very less. But if iron metal and say for example copper, if those two are in contact with one another and their electronegativity difference is also huge, which you understand when we are when we'll go to the example, then out of those two, one with lesser electrode potential value undergoes severe corrosion. Okay, examples. Number one, when copper is in contact with iron. Okay, just now I was telling, when copper bolt, whose electrode potential value, E naught value is plus 0.34 volt, and steel nut, which is made up of iron, whose electrode negativity value is, or electronegativity value, electrode potential value, one and the same, E naught is minus 0.44 volts. Students, see the difference here. One is positive, one is negative. When we are doing difference of it, huge difference we are getting, value we are getting. If this is the case, then okay, if both these are in contact with one another, iron, that is steel nut, having lower electrode potential value, acts as anode and undergoes corrosion, and copper bolt having higher electrode potential value, acts as cathode and remains unaffected. As you can see in this diagram, students, so this is a brass screw. Brass contains copper and your zinc. Now here mild steel nut, this was a steel nut, now it is completely rusted here. If this is the case, one metal, metal 1, metal 2, if like this they are in contact with one another, the one which is having negative value or lower electrode potential value act as anode and undergoes corrosion. Why exactly corrosion takes place here? We have already understood in previous video number 2 of corrosion, which was electrochemical theory of corrosion. Then brass screw remains unaffected. Then see here one more example. If copper, any article of copper bolt is inserted in aluminium. So copper is having more electrode positivity or less active as compared to aluminium. So aluminium undergoes corrosion. This acts as anode, copper acts as cathode, and in the junction between these two, here corrosion products takes place in the presence of electrolyte. So this was, students, our differential metal corrosion. Now next is differential aeration corrosion. Okay, now name itself indicates differential aeration corrosion. What it could be? Okay, if there is difference in concentration of oxygen. Now here in corrosion, oxygen plays a huge role because the reduction of oxygen takes place, then the reduction product takes place, that products react with oxidized product and corrosion products takes place. That these all we have studied in electrochemical theory of corrosion. So oxygen is the key for corrosion. If there is difference in oxygen concentration, there will be setup of one more electrode chemical cell, particularly that cell is called as concentration cell. So because of the generation of concentration cell, there will be corrosion. In the previous case, what was the previous case? Differential metal corrosion. Because the difference in the electronegativity of the two dissimilar metals, there was setup of a galvanic cell. In this particular case, differential aeration corrosion, the type of electrochemical cell setup is concentration cell. In both the cases, corrosion takes place. Corrosion in the sense oxidation reduction reaction takes place. If the oxidation reduction reaction takes place in the controlled manner, then we are not calling it as corrosion. But here in the particular case, we are calling it as corrosion. Why? Because whatever product we are getting, it becomes useless, if not completely useless, but less useful product we are getting. Okay, so next, when it occurs, the metal is exposed to different air or oxygen concentration. Oxygen concentration cell will be set up. Anode, the part of the metal exposed to lower concentration of oxygen, is acts as anode, and always anode undergoes corrosion. Cathode, the part of metal exposed to higher concentration of oxygen, acts as cathode and resist corrosion. Consequently, poorly oxygenated region undergoes corrosion. That means anodic part undergoes corrosion. You'll understand it. Okay, let us see the example. Here is a diagram. As you can see here, in a beaker, water is kept. Okay, staggered water. If we are not moving the water continuously, staggered water, and a iron rod is placed. If for prolonged time, if this setup is kept as it is, we observe at the junction brown layer, which is nothing but corrosion product. Now, why this corrosion took place? Okay, we all know that in water there will be oxygen, but in the dissolved form, so its concentration will be less, and in air anyways concentration of oxygen is more. So this part, this bottom part becomes anodic area and this upper part becomes cathodic area. In the junction where there is difference in oxygen concentration, there will be occurrence of corrosion. Okay, I hope this picture gave you an idea regarding differential aeration corrosion. Then we'll move on to, okay, one more example here. See here. Two metal slabs are kept here, 1 and 2 metal surfaces, and there is crevice in between, a small tiny space. Okay, when we are keeping anything on top of other surface, then we may think that there is no gap in between, but there will be small microscopic gap. In that microscopic gap, student, there will be less oxygen, and remaining surfaces there will be more oxygen. So in this surface, lower oxygen concentration, anodic area, and the remaining part becomes cathodic area, and at the junction the corrosion product pops out. So this was once again one more example for our differential aeration corrosion. Okay students, now type of differential aeration corrosion. First is waterline corrosion. The first diagram whatever I explained was nothing but waterline corrosion. Okay, it is the form of differential aeration corrosion occurs when unagitated water is kept in a iron tank. Anode, the iron surface just below the waterline, poorly oxygenated part becomes anode, and the iron surface above the waterline, which is more oxygenated part, becomes cathode. Okay, example, same example what we explained previously. Here there is a beaker containing water. This water is unagitated. So here see, this part experiences more oxygen and this part experiences less oxygen. So in the junction there will be formation of rust, which is nothing but corrosion. So this is waterline corrosion. Okay, so okay, this container should be a metal. So here this container is of a metal, steel. So there is question of corrosion. Okay, then examples, some diagrams to clear the idea. See, as you can see here, so there is one iron pillar. So bottom there will not be any corrosion, top there will not be any corrosion, but at the junction like this. The second diagram also you can see. So here it protected from corrosion. Here from where the water continuously flows, there will be corrosion. These are the examples for waterline corrosion. Now second is pitting corrosion. Now what is this pitting corrosion? Whatever second diagram we had seen. It is the localized form of corrosion by which cavities or holes are produced in the material. It occurs due to the reasons: surface roughness or non-uniform finish, scratches or cuts, local strains, local straining of metal due to non-uniform stress, deposition of extraneous matters such as sand, scale, water drop, dust, etc. Okay, as you can see in this diagram, so this is a metal surface. Imagine there was any rough surface or small cut. It had a small cut. That cut experiences lesser oxygen. so becomes anode, and the hole increases as the corrosion takes place, and the metal from this hole converts into rust and goes on the top surface. So like this, a small pit or hole is formed in this particular type of corrosion. Hence it is called as pitting corrosion. Okay, examples. Okay, as you can see in this diagram, students, this is iron table, and one object is kept on the table, and there will be a microscopic gap between the table and that object. That gap has less oxygen supply, and remaining space has more oxygen supply, and the space where there will be less oxygen supply acts as anode, and as you can see, there will be formation of corrosion and product, because of which the part becomes corroded and pits or holes are formed on that particular table. So this was one of the example. You can see here how exactly it looks. These small holes, like this, small holes are formed in the case of pitting corrosion. So students, this was type of corrosion. Anyways, in your syllabus they have included only 2 types, which we have, which I hope is cleared now. So in the next video we'll go through some other topics of corrosion. Thank you.